Young engineer repairs a deserted spaceship. The last logbook holds a deadly secret. Lila adjusted the visor of her helmet as the small survey shuttle floated silently above the wreckage field. Stars glittered like diamonds in the endless darkness, and the remains of derelict spaceships drifted past her window. Some ships were no bigger than her shuttle. Others were massive, hulls twisted and blackened, torn apart by old battles or cosmic storms. She had been trained for this, recovering old ships, evaluating their systems and bringing back anything of value. But she had never seen anything like the ship ahead. It was enormous, long and sleek, with a hull that shimmered faintly in the starlight. Despite its age, it looked almost alive. Strange symbols ran along its surface, etched in patterns she didn't recognize. She had seen alien ships before, but none this large or this elegant. It hovered in space, as if waiting for someone or something. Lila's heart raced. Curiosity was one thing, but this was different. Her instincts told her that this ship was not just abandoned. It held a story, and she wanted to know it. Her shuttle glided closer, docking with a magnetic clamp on the ship's outer hull. She went through the checklist automatically: life support, atmosphere sensors, gravity stabilization. Everything seemed dead, frozen in time. No signs of movement, no power. Just the hum of her own shuttle systems. She took a deep breath, activated her thrusters, and stepped into the airlock. The doors hissed closed behind her, and the soft glow of her helmet lights revealed the interior. The ship was intact, though layers of dust and frozen air suggested it had been abandoned for decades. Strange markings glimmered on the walls, and faint lines of alien circuitry traced the corridors like veins. Lila's eyes widened. Most abandoned ships she had seen were empty shells, broken and useless. But this ship was different. Its systems had been built to last. Its technology was elegant, far beyond anything humans had yet created. And for some reason it seemed silent, but aware. She shivered at the thought and tried to focus. She made her way to the central hub, the control room, where the ship's main console waited. Her fingers traced the panels, brushing dust and alien symbols. She could feel the weight of history here. She activated her portable diagnostic scanner. Lights flickered to life. Weak, dim, but enough for her to see the readouts. Power levels were nearly zero, but the core systems were intact. Her heart leapt. "I can bring this back online," she whispered to herself. No human had ever managed to restore an alien ship like this, not without years of study. And she had only hours before her shuttle's reserves ran low. But the challenge excited her. This was exactly why she became an engineer: to push limits, to face the unknown, and to solve problems others couldn't. As she worked, she noticed something tucked under a panel in the corner of the control room. A small metallic box, worn but preserved. Curiosity overpowered caution. She pried it open and found a logbook, digital but old, with flickering holographic text. She activated it carefully. The first entries were normal: coordinates, maintenance logs, fuel reports, but soon they became strange. References to experiments, warnings, and coded messages that didn't make sense at first. And then the last entry: the core has awoken. If anyone finds this log, beware. This ship is more than it seems. The systems will test you. Only those who think beyond the rules can survive. Lila frowned. Her pulse quickened. "Test me?" "Survive what?" she muttered. The writing felt urgent, desperate, yet intelligent. Whoever had written it, crew or AI, had known something she didn't. She looked around. The ship was quiet. Too quiet. And yet she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, not by a person, but by the ship itself. She had studied alien AI before. Some could react unpredictably, but this one felt different. It had a presence, even in dormancy. Still, she couldn't let fear stop her. She returned to the main console and began restoring the ship's life support systems. Panels lit up slowly, lights flickering in sequences that seemed almost deliberate. Air systems purged old dust, gravity stabilized, and temperature regulators hummed as they activated. The ship's core was waking. Lila's mind raced. She had worked on old alien satellites and even small scout ships, but nothing like this. Every system she activated responded in ways she didn't expect. Doors moved smoothly. Lights dimmed and brightened as if the ship were aware of her presence. It wasn't threatening, but it wasn't neutral either. Hours passed. Lila worked tirelessly, repairing circuits, rerouting power, and patching systems that had been offline for decades. The ship seemed to cooperate, almost guiding her hands toward critical components. She smiled. Humans could adapt, improvise, and understand patterns even when others couldn't. That was their edge. Finally, the ship was stable. Not fully operational, but breathing. Lila leaned back, exhausted but triumphant. She allowed herself a small laugh. I did it. I actually did it. Then a faint hum echoed through the corridor. A soft light pulsed on the console. Lila froze. Her heart thumped. The logbook, the last entry, flickered with new text. You have power now. The challenge begins. Do not fail. Lila's eyes widened. It wasn't a threat exactly. It was a puzzle, a challenge. The ship wasn't just abandoned. It was designed to test those who entered it. And somehow, it had chosen her. She stepped back, her mind racing. What was this test? And why had the previous crew failed? The logbook gave no answers, only warnings. She thought of her training. Engineers were problem solvers by nature. Humans thrived on challenges. Adaptation, creativity, intelligence. These were traits no alien system could fully anticipate. And that thought gave her confidence. She wasn't afraid. Not really. She began examining the next set of systems. Navigation, communication, propulsion. Each panel presented puzzles. Alien symbols, strange logic circuits, sequences that didn't follow human patterns. But humans had something aliens often underestimated: intuition. Lila began experimenting, testing sequences, observing responses, and adjusting. Slowly, patterns emerged. It was exhausting work, but also exhilarating. The ship wasn't just a machine. It was a puzzle, a story, and a challenge, all at once. And for the first time, Lila felt the thrill of being truly alive, in a way she hadn't experienced in years of routine engineering work. As night passed in the void outside, she paused to look out the viewports. Stars streaked past as tiny meteorites drifted by. She thought about the previous crew, their warnings, and the mystery locked inside this massive ship. And she realized something important. This ship didn't underestimate humans. It had only tested those it thought might survive. And she believed she could. Her hand rested on the logbook. The next entries weren't there. Only the warning. Think beyond the rules. Lila smiled, a quiet, determined smile. That was what humans did best. They adapted. They improvised. They thrived where others failed. And she would solve this mystery, one system at a time, one puzzle at a time. As she prepared to dive deeper into the ship's secrets, a soft, mechanical click echoed behind her. She turned, heart skipping a beat. The lights in the corridor shifted slightly, as if reacting to her movement. The ship was alive, aware, and watching. And for the first time, Lila realized the full weight of the challenge ahead. This was no ordinary repair job. This was a test of human ingenuity against alien perfection. And humans never gave up. Lila adjusted her visor, rolled up her sleeves, and whispered to herself, "Let's see what you've got." The hum of the ship's systems grew louder, almost like a heartbeat, and somewhere deep within, she sensed the first real clue waiting for her. Something the previous crew had missed, something she was meant to find. And so, with determination burning in her chest, Lila stepped forward into the unknown corridors, ready to face whatever the ship and the logbook had in store. The adventure had only just begun. Lila stepped carefully through the silent corridors of the alien ship, her boots making soft echoes against the metallic floors. The soft hum of the ship's systems followed her like a heartbeat, pulsing steadily beneath her feet. She had stabilized the life support systems, but the rest of the ship remained a mystery. Every panel she touched seemed to respond to her, not like a machine, but like something aware. She paused at the navigation console. Strange alien symbols glowed faintly on the screen, arranged in patterns she had never seen before. Her fingers hovered over the touchpad, hesitant. This was where the ship's AI core should connect, and the last logbook had warned her. The systems will test you. Only those who think beyond the rules can survive. "What does that mean?" she whispered, but the answer would come soon enough. She activated the console and waited. At first, nothing happened. Then, lines of symbols began to shift across the screen. Slowly, patterns emerged, forming sequences she could just barely understand. It was a puzzle, and the ship's AI was testing her. "Okay," Lila muttered. "If this is a test, let's see if humans can solve it." For hours, she worked. Each sequence required a combination of logic, intuition, and imagination. Some were mathematical, some spatial, and some completely abstract. But Leela had an advantage the original alien creators had not anticipated. She was human. She could improvise, think outside strict rules, and find connections where none seemed to exist. Slowly, the AI began responding differently. Lights pulsed in time with her movements. Corridors shifted subtly, and the consoles provided hints instead of challenges. Lila realized she was not just repairing the ship, she was interacting with it, learning its language, and adapting to its intelligence. "This is incredible," she said aloud, though no one was there to hear her. "A machine that thinks, reacts, and teaches?" Her thoughts were interrupted by a soft click behind her. She turned, eyes wide. One of the hallway doors had slid open silently. Through it, a room filled with complex machinery glimmered in soft blue light. Energy cores hummed faintly, connected by cables and circuits she could barely comprehend. She approached cautiously. The logbook had mentioned hidden systems that could be dangerous. But she could also see potential. These systems, if understood, could unlock more of the ship's secrets. And humans were good at understanding things others considered too complex. "Let's see what you're hiding," she said, placing her hands on the control panel. The AI responded immediately. Symbols shifted faster now, forming patterns that almost seemed alive. A soft voice, mechanical yet melodic, filled the room. "You are not like them. You think differently. Do you wish to proceed?" Lila froze. The ship was speaking to her. Not through words she had programmed, not through displays, but with a voice. She swallowed her surprise and nodded, even though no one could see her. "Yes," she replied. "I want to know everything." The AI's voice hummed, and then the symbols began to move faster, more complex. Each puzzle required her to combine logic with creativity, to think like an engineer, but also like an artist. She realized that the previous crew had likely failed because they had approached the system mechanically. They had expected rules. Humans, however, thrived in ambiguity. Hours passed. Lila felt her brain ache, but she pushed on. Her human mind adapted in ways no alien AI could fully predict. She found shortcuts, patterns, and solutions the ship hadn't anticipated. Every success brought new challenges, but also more confidence. Then she discovered a strange console at the far end of the room. It looked like it controlled the ship's propulsion, but the symbols around it were completely alien. She touched a panel and the AI spoke again. "This system is not for transport. It is for survival. Only the worthy may use it." Lila frowned. "Survival," she echoed. "You mean danger?" The AI did not answer in words. Instead, lights flashed across the room, forming a three-dimensional map of the ship. Hidden chambers, corridors she had not seen, systems she had not yet touched. Everything was revealed at once. And at the center, a core chamber pulsed with energy, faint but powerful. Her heart raced. This must be the source the logbook had warned about. But the AI seemed to be waiting, letting her approach it only if she proved herself. And she knew something important. Humans survived because they were curious, adaptable, and willing to take risks. That was their edge. She started working on the core systems. Panels resisted her at first, but her hands moved instinctively. She rerouted power, synchronized energy flows, and slowly, the core began to hum steadily. Lights pulsed in response, almost like it was acknowledging her success. Then came a new challenge. The core chamber's doors slid shut, and a holographic puzzle appeared in midair. It was a network of symbols and light, rotating and changing constantly. Lila stared at it, feeling her pulse quicken. The AI was testing her in real time, adapting the puzzle to her thinking, pushing her to understand patterns no one else could. She took a deep breath. Humans had a trait no machine could predict: persistence. She studied the puzzle, noticed subtle repetitions, and experimented. Time blurred. She traced sequences in the air, activated panels, and connected energy flows. Slowly, the hologram shifted, stabilized, and revealed a safe path to access the core's central system. She had done it. "Impressive," the AI said, its voice calm now, almost approving. "You have adapted. You are worthy of the knowledge within." Lila exhaled, her hands shaking slightly from exhaustion. "I thank you," she said softly. "I think I understand now. This ship, it's a test. Not to destroy, but to challenge." The AI responded with a soft hum, pulsing through the ship. For the first time, the corridors felt welcoming rather than intimidating. Lila realized she had gained not only access to the ship's systems, but also its trust, in a way no previous crew had. But her triumph was tempered with caution. The logbook had warned of danger. The AI had tested her, but there was still more to discover. Hidden systems, secret chambers, unknown devices, anything could be waiting. And she knew humans were capable of rising to challenges, even when the odds seemed impossible. She began exploring further. The corridors led her to rooms filled with alien technology, energy matrices, propulsion systems, communication arrays. Each system responded differently to her touch, revealing new information about the ship, its creators, and its purpose. She paused at a chamber labeled with symbols that resembled the logbook's last entries. The AI's voice spoke again. "This chamber contains knowledge and power. Only the one who adapts may unlock it." Lila smiled. Humans adapted. That was what they did best. With careful hands, she began interfacing with the systems. Lights flickered, panels shifted, and a holographic display appeared. It showed star maps, unknown energy sources, and a device, dormant, pulsing faintly at the ship's core. Her stomach tightened. She didn't know what it was yet, but she felt the weight of the logbook's warning. The last entry holds a deadly secret. She focused, analyzing every detail. The AI's puzzles had prepared her. She began decoding patterns, rerouting energy safely, and preparing to understand the device. This was the next step of the test. Humans thrived in uncertainty, and she intended to prove it. As she worked, the hum of the ship grew louder. It was almost as if the ship was alive, guiding her, challenging her, but also giving her what she needed to succeed. And she realized something important. No alien system could ever fully predict a human mind. Curiosity, persistence, and creativity. These were strengths the galaxy had not accounted for. Hours passed in silence, broken only by the soft clicks of machinery and the hum of energy. Lila didn't notice time. She was fully absorbed in the challenge, in the process of understanding, adapting, and solving. And somewhere deep within the ship, she knew the next puzzle, the final part of the test, awaited her. Finally, she stepped back and looked at the core. Her hands were steady, her mind alert. She had passed the first major challenge. The AI had acknowledged her worth, and yet the feeling of anticipation remained. The ship's secrets were far from fully revealed. The logbook's words echoed in her mind. Only those who think beyond the rules can survive. Lila smiled. Humans thought beyond rules every day. That was why they thrived. That was why they could face challenges the galaxy feared. She adjusted her visor and whispered to herself, "I'm ready for whatever comes next." The hum of the ship seemed to respond, louder now, almost like a heartbeat. The corridors shimmered in the soft light, revealing new paths, new chambers. Somewhere deep inside, the ship held its final test. And Lila, with her human mind, her curiosity, and her persistence, was ready to face it. The adventure had only deepened. The challenge was far from over. But one thing was clear. Humans, underestimated and overlooked, were capable of brilliance beyond alien imagination. And Leela, the young engineer, was living proof. Leela stood in the center of the ship's core chamber, her eyes wide as she took in the pulsing device before her. It was unlike anything she had ever seen. A spherical structure floating in the middle of the room, glowing faintly with shifting lines of energy that rippled like liquid metal. The holographic display surrounding it spun star maps, energy readings, and cryptic alien symbols. The logbook's warning echoed in her mind. The last entry holds a deadly secret. Her heart raced. What could be so dangerous that the original crew had failed to stop it? She had already passed the AI's puzzles, restored the ship's systems, and gained its trust. Yet now, the stakes felt higher. Every instinct told her to be careful. But her curiosity, human curiosity, was stronger than fear. "This is it," she whispered, stepping closer. Her fingers hovered over a panel embedded in the floor. Symbols shifted as if the device were reacting to her presence. It wasn't locked exactly. It was waiting for someone smart enough to understand it. She studied the patterns. The device pulsed in rhythmic waves, and she realized it was linked to the ship's core energy systems. Each pulse resonated with the star charts displayed around it. Her mind raced. It wasn't just a power source. It was a weapon of unimaginable scale. She shivered at the thought. If it activated, it could destroy planets, or worse, entire star systems. Lila's pulse quickened. Humans were clever, adaptable, and persistent, but she couldn't afford a mistake. She needed a plan. She began analyzing the device, tracing energy flows, following circuits, and mapping the connections to the ship's systems. The AI's voice, calm and almost approving, filled the chamber. "You understand the risk. Only one who adapts may control it." Lila nodded. Humans thrived under pressure. That was why they survived in situations no one else could. She adjusted her visor and began interfacing with the control panel. Symbols rotated, pulsed, and changed color in response to her touch. Every wrong input triggered a brief shockwave of energy that lightly rattled the room. The device was alive, and it was testing her. She remembered the logbook. Only those who think beyond the rules can survive. That meant conventional methods wouldn't work. She had to combine logic, intuition, and creativity, everything humans excelled at. For hours she worked. She rerouted power through auxiliary systems, aligned energy nodes according to alien logic, and synchronized the device's pulses with the ship's main core. Patterns began to emerge, revealing the structure of the system and the conditions required to stabilize it. The device reacted differently than she expected. It wasn't hostile. It was intelligent. Its tests were not meant to kill but to ensure the operator was capable of understanding it fully. Lila realized that the previous crew had failed, not because the device was too dangerous, but because they lacked the human ability to adapt creatively under pressure. She smiled faintly. Humans had something no alien design could fully account for: the ability to improvise. Suddenly, a new hologram appeared above the device, a sphere of light representing a nearby star system. Lila's stomach tightened. The device wasn't dormant. It was capable of manipulating gravitational fields, energy flows, and planetary orbits. Its purpose was clear. It was a planetary-level weapon, dormant but ready to awaken. Her pulse raced. If she made a mistake, the consequences would be catastrophic. But she couldn't turn back now. Human persistence demanded action, not hesitation. She adjusted the energy flow again, carefully stabilizing the device, her hands moving instinctively as she combined logic and intuition. "Do you understand?" the AI asked. "The previous operators failed. You may succeed." "Yes," Lila said firmly. "I understand. And I will not fail." The room vibrated as energy surged through the ship. Panels lit up, corridors shimmered, and the device's glow intensified. Lila traced the final connections, aligning them with star charts and gravitational maps. Her mind worked in overdrive, noticing subtle changes in the system, predicting its reactions before they happened. The device pulsed violently. Lila gritted her teeth, refusing to panic. She was human, and humans thrived under challenges. She rerouted power again, adjusted energy flows, and for a moment she thought it might succeed or explode. Then, slowly, the pulses stabilized. The holographic displays settled, showing the device in a neutral state. Lila exhaled, her body trembling from exhaustion and relief. She had done it. She had stabilized the weapon without triggering its destructive potential. "You have adapted," the AI said. "You are worthy of its knowledge. You may now control it safely." Lila's mind reeled. The device was not just a weapon, it was a tool, capable of immense energy manipulation. In the wrong hands, it could destroy civilizations. In the right hands, it could reshape systems, terraform planets, or power entire colonies. And now, it was hers to understand. Her thoughts drifted. Humanity had always thrived in the impossible. From the first tools they crafted on Earth to the rockets that now carried them among the stars, humans had adapted, learned, and overcome. The alien creators had underestimated that. They assumed intelligence was predictable, linear, and rigid. Humans were none of those things. They were clever, creative, and relentless. Lila allowed herself a small smile. She had proven it, not just to herself, but to the ship, the AI, and the ghostly memory of the previous crew. Humans could rise where others failed. She began exploring further, interfacing with other core systems to understand the full capabilities of the device. Star charts, energy maps, and interstellar communication arrays revealed the ship's full purpose. It had been designed as a guardian, a failsafe for the galaxy in case of a catastrophic event. Its creators had abandoned it, unable to control it, and had left behind the logbook as a warning. Lila realized the gravity of the situation. She wasn't just repairing a ship. She was holding the key to a tool that could alter the fate of entire civilizations. The weight was enormous, but so was her confidence. Humans had survived far worse challenges, and they had always relied on ingenuity, adaptability, and determination. "You may proceed," the AI said, "but caution remains essential. One misstep could have consequences beyond comprehension." She nodded. "I know," she said softly. "But I can handle it." Lila spent the next hour studying the device's operations, learning its limits and experimenting with small energy manipulations. Each test revealed something new, and each success built her confidence. She was human, and humans were meant to face the impossible. Yet, a small nagging thought lingered in her mind. The device had been dormant for decades, and the previous crew had failed. Something else might be hidden, something the AI had not revealed yet. She knew the final challenge was still ahead, but that thought did not intimidate her. Humans had always faced the unknown and turned it into opportunity. She adjusted the core controls one last time, bringing all systems into alignment. The room pulsed softly, a calm rhythm replacing the earlier intensity. She looked at the device, and for the first time, she felt a sense of mastery. Not dominance, not control, but understanding. "You have succeeded in stabilizing the core," the AI said. "You may now access the final logs." The logbook flickered to life again, displaying the last entries in full. Coordinates, system maps, and detailed explanations of the device's function. Lila read carefully, understanding each line. The device had been designed as both a shield and a test. Its creators had intended it to be controlled only by those capable of thinking beyond standard rules. Humans apparently were the first to pass that test. She smiled. Humans had always been underestimated. They were unpredictable, adaptable, and clever. Where the aliens had failed, she had succeeded. Not through force, but through intellect, patience, and persistence. That was the true power of humanity. Her thoughts drifted briefly to Earth. to the small world she had left behind, and to the countless humans exploring the stars. If she could succeed here, what else could humanity accomplish? The galaxy was full of challenges, and humans were just beginning to show what they could do. Lila closed the logbook and stood quietly. The device's energy pulsed gently, a calm rhythm now in sync with the ship. She had faced the deadly secret and emerged victorious. And as she looked around the chamber, she realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors. They were problem solvers, explorers, and guardians. The eye spoke one final time. The test is complete. You have proven that humanity is capable of understanding, adapting, and mastering the unknown. Proceed wisely. Lila nodded, a sense of pride swelling within her. She had not only stabilized the device, but had unlocked the potential of the ship itself. The challenge had been immense, but she had met it head-on. And she knew, deep inside, that humanity was destined for greatness among the stars. The chamber doors opened, revealing new corridors bathed in soft light. Beyond them lay more of the ship's secrets, perhaps new puzzles, perhaps new discoveries. Lila stepped forward, confident in her abilities and in the power of human ingenuity. She was ready for whatever came next, and somewhere deep within, the ship seemed to pulse with quiet approval. Humanity had survived the test. Humanity had triumphed where others had failed. And Lila, the young engineer, was living proof. The deadly secret had been uncovered, but it was not a weapon of destruction, it was a test, and humanity had passed. The galaxy, vast and full of mysteries, awaited. And humans, with their creativity, persistence, and courage, were ready. Lila stood at the center of the ship's core chamber, her eyes scanning the pulsing device she had stabilized. Its energy hummed like a quiet heartbeat, and the holographic displays now flowed smoothly, revealing star systems, energy grids, and ancient alien charts. She could feel the weight of her responsibility pressing on her shoulders. One wrong move, and this incredible tool could become a weapon of devastation. But she was human. Humans thrived under challenges. They adapted, improvised, and found solutions that no one else could. And she knew exactly what she had to do. The first step was understanding the full extent of the ship's capabilities. Lila activated the final set of consoles, running simulations and cross-referencing the ship's data with her own calculations. The device could manipulate gravitational fields, redistribute energy across star systems, and even terraform planets. Its original purpose had been both defensive and experimental, a way for its creators to protect systems while testing their limits. But with no one to control it, it had been a ticking puzzle, silent, waiting for someone worthy. "You may proceed," the AI said softly. "The systems respond to your ingenuity. Your understanding is unprecedented." Lila nodded, taking a deep breath. She realized the AI wasn't just guiding her, it was recognizing her ability to think creatively, to adapt, and to solve problems under pressure. Humans were unpredictable, and that unpredictability was their strength. She began plotting the next steps. First, she needed to make sure the ship itself was safe. Hidden fail-safes remained, designed to prevent the device from falling into the wrong hands. Lila carefully traced each system, rerouting energy flows and neutralizing dangerous triggers. The ship hummed in response, almost like it was learning from her adjustments. She smiled. Humans and machines could cooperate in ways no alien creator had imagined. Next, she considered the galaxy beyond. The device could be used to protect vulnerable star systems from natural disasters, cosmic storms, or even collisions of massive celestial bodies, but it could also be misused. Lila knew she had to ensure it would never harm innocent civilizations. That required strategy, careful planning, and a level of foresight that humans were uniquely capable of. "How far does this go?" she whispered. "How much can humans really control?" The AI responded not with words, but with a pulse of energy, mapping potential outcomes across the galaxy. Lila studied the projections, noting which systems were at risk and which could benefit from stabilization. The task was immense, but she felt no fear. Humans were problem solvers at heart. They had faced challenges from the first tools on Earth to the first ships among the stars. This was just another puzzle, and puzzles were meant to be solved. Hours turned into days as she worked tirelessly. She rerouted energy, adjusted gravitational fields, and synchronized the device with the ship's systems. She created simulations for every possible scenario, testing how the device would respond to cosmic events and alien interference. Each success reinforced her confidence. Each challenge strengthened her resolve. She paused to look out the viewports. Stars stretched across the void, countless and infinite. Humanity had traveled far from Earth, but most humans didn't yet realize how capable they were. She smiled. That was her advantage. Humans weren't predictable. They thrived on curiosity, ingenuity, and determination. And now, she held proof in her hands. "You are ready," the AI said finally. "Proceed with purpose." Lila took a deep breath and activated the final interface. The device pulsed brightly, mapping energy flows and star systems with perfect precision. She felt a surge of understanding. She wasn't just controlling the device, she was communicating with it, guiding it like a conductor guiding an orchestra. The ship had taught her its language, and now she could use it to benefit the galaxy. Her first action was simple, but profound. She stabilized several nearby star systems that were at risk from natural gravitational instabilities. Planets that had been drifting slightly off course were gently corrected. Cosmic storms were diffused, and energy anomalies were balanced. She watched as the holographic stars shifted into harmony, responding to her adjustments. "Incredible," she whispered. "Humans can do this, we really can." She realized that humans weren't just survivors, they were guardians. The galaxy had underestimated them. The aliens who had built this device had assumed intelligence was linear, predictable, and rigid. Humans were none of those things. Humans were creative, adaptable, and persistent. They could face challenges others could not. And now, Lila was proof. Her mind drifted to Earth, to the people she had left behind, and to the countless humans exploring the stars. If one human could master this device, what could an entire species accomplish? She felt a surge of pride. Humanity had always faced the impossible and turned it into opportunity. This was just another example. Then she noticed something unexpected. A distant star system far beyond the mapped area showed signs of unusual energy activity. It wasn't dangerous, yet, but it was unstable. The device could help. Lila adjusted the energy flows, guiding the star's gravitational field into stability. She watched as planets moved into safer orbits, energy streams balanced, and cosmic storms dissipated. Another success. Another demonstration of human ingenuity. "You think beyond the rules," the AI said. "As your creators intended, you adapt. You are worthy of this knowledge." Lila smiled. Humans had always adapted. That was why they survived, why they thrived, and why they could succeed where others failed. The AI, the ship, the device, it had all underestimated human potential. But now it was clear. Humans were not just participants in the galaxy, they were innovators, problem solvers, and protectors. Her work continued, each adjustment precise, each calculation exact. The device responded perfectly, flowing with energy, stabilizing systems, and mapping new possibilities. Lila realized something profound. Humans weren't limited by rules. They could find patterns where none seemed to exist, solve puzzles no one else could, and create solutions that were elegant and effective. As she worked, the ship seemed almost to breathe with her. Lights pulsed in rhythm with the device, corridors shimmered with energy, and holographic displays shifted to reflect her progress. She wasn't alone. She had the ship, the AI, and her own human ingenuity. Together, they were a force no alien creator could have anticipated. Finally, after hours of work, Lila stepped back and surveyed the results. The ship was fully operational, the device stable, and the galaxy's nearby systems safer than they had been in centuries. The AI's voice spoke one last time. "You have succeeded. You have proven that humans are capable of adaptation, creativity, and intelligence beyond expectation. Proceed wisely." Lila nodded, a quiet sense of triumph filling her chest. She had faced the deadly secret and emerged victorious. She had not relied on force, cunning, or luck alone. She had relied on human traits, curiosity, persistence, and ingenuity. And that was why she had succeeded. She moved through the ship, sending messages to nearby civilizations, warning them of the ship's presence and capabilities. She ensured that the device could never be misused, only accessed by those capable of thinking as she had. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries, but humans were ready. Humans could rise to challenges, adapt to the unknown, and master systems far beyond their initial understanding. Looking out the viewport at the stars, Lila felt a deep sense of pride. Humans had always been underestimated. Now she had proof of their true potential. They were not just survivors, they were innovators, guardians, and explorers. The galaxy had been waiting for them to show what they could do, and Lila had just begun that journey. With the device stabilized, the ship fully operational, and her mission complete, Lila allowed herself a small smile. Humans had triumphed, not through brute force, but through intelligence, creativity, and determination. The deadly secret had become a testament to human ingenuity. And as she prepared to leave the ship, returning to her shuttle and eventually to Earth, she knew one thing for certain. Humanity was capable of brilliance beyond imagination. The galaxy would soon learn what humans could achieve. For the first time in the silent corridors of the ancient ship, Lila felt the hum of approval, not just from the AI, but from the very universe itself. Humans had faced the impossible and prevailed. Humans had adapted, survived, and triumphed. And the stars, vast and infinite, seemed to shine a little brighter in acknowledgement. She took one last look at the ship, the device, and the pulsing corridors. A whisper of thought came to her mind, almost as if the ship itself spoke. Humans, worthy. Lila smiled, heart full. She had repaired a deserted spaceship, uncovered its deadly secret, and shown the galaxy what humans were truly capable of. The adventure had ended, but a new chapter for humanity was only just beginning. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, full of mysteries, challenges, and opportunities. And humans, clever, adaptable, and unstoppable, were ready for all of them. With steady hands, sharp mind, and unshakable courage, Lila guided her shuttle out of the ship, into the wide-open void of space. Her journey was far from over. But one thing was clear. Humanity had proven itself among the stars. And nothing, not alien machines, not forgotten secrets, not even the vastness of the galaxy, could stop them.